graduates, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening and welcome. Tonight we celebrate the 33rd graduation ceremony of the New York State American Program, Sackler School of Medicine, Tel Aviv University. I would like to invite the graduates of this very special 33rd class of the New York State American Program to enter and to take their seats. It is my pleasure and my honor to welcome now the members of the Presidium and the faculty to enter and to take their places. Professor Yosef Makori, Dean of the Sackler Faculty of Medicine. Professor Arnon Efek, Director of the New York State American Program. Dr. Stephen H. Lazar, Executive Dean of the New York State American Program. And Leah Schulman, Administrative Director and Registrar of the New York State American Program. I call upon Professor Yosef Makori, Dean of the Sackler Faculty of Medicine, to address the graduates.
Good evening, members of the Presidium, guests, dear graduates. I'm reading this letter to you, our American graduates, particularly class of 2013, from a long-term perspective of 37 years in academic medicine and my short-term perspective as Dean of the Sackler Faculty of Medicine. I believe that graduation from medical school is the first greatest event in your medical career. By any standard of measurement, you have accomplished Herculean tasks of intensive studies and acquisition of clinical skills. To be sure, these are major achievements, but one hopes that the most exciting and rewarding part of your professional journey is just starting. Now is a time of a major transition. In reaching this point, you clearly have recognized that medical education is a key to a high-speed, dizzying roller coaster ride, distinguished by breathtaking emotional highs, but gut-wrenching lows. My objective in writing this letter is to provide you with several simple rules of behavior that, in my experience at least, will help you sustain the highs, keep in proper perspective the lows, and enhance your prospects for a successful practice and fulfilling personal life. First, I hope you will be decidedly passionate about life's work. Medicine is an ennobling and empowering profession. It will give you the means to accomplish great good and accordingly to feel a remarkable sense of achievement. However, the work is hard, physically and intellectually. If you do not absolutely love your medical specialty, I assure you that there are easier and less stressful ways to make a living. Moreover, just as your specialty training gives you the means to accomplish great good, it also may lead you to cause great harm to your patients. Second, as you enter practice, please rededicate yourself to a lifelong of self-directed learning. The cognitive knowledge you acquired during medical school will probably be outdated within 5 to 10 years, and you simply must stay current with the latest developments if you are to serve your patients well. Nourish the intellectual skills to separate the wheat from the chaff and to practice evidence-based medicine. In medicine, unlike the highway, the best place to be is the middle of the road. Be not the first to adopt the new, nor the last to abandon the old. Care for your patients on the basis of convincing data, not strongly espouse dogma, your own recent worst experience, or anecdotal evidence offered by others. Third, be patient. Learn to accept that despite your innate sense of idealism, you will not like every patient that you encounter in practice. In fact, the lifestyles of some patients will be directly responsible for their illnesses, and those lifestyles may be the exact antithesis of your own. Nevertheless, recognize that no one deserves to be ill, and everyone merits our very best effort. Learn to work deliberately and carefully. Most serious mistakes in medicine arise not from lack of knowledge, but from imprudent haste and lack of attention to details. As you spend time with patients, talk sparingly. Learn to be a good listener. Remember that in many instances, the best medicine is no medicine at all, but rather the gift of your time and a sympathetic ear, soft shoulder, kind heart, and compassionate soul. Fourth, at all costs, avoid arrogant behavior. No personal trait is more unsettling to patients or co-workers. Do not get too caught up in yourself and the trappings of apparent power, such as personal digital assistants, pagers, wireless phones, laptops, stethoscopes, and the white coats. Your remarkable scholastic and personal accomplishments will be all the more noteworthy when they are tempered by humility. Fifth, strive for the highest possible level of professionalism. After working in academic medicine for more than 30 years, I assure you that very few physicians ever fail in their training or practice because of inadequate intellect or lack of manual dexterity. Rather, they fail because they are not particularly likable or trustworthy people. Therefore, work conscientiously to heighten your level of maturity. Strive always to be upbeat and positive. Be part of the solution to a problem, not the cause of the problem. Avoid the company of angry, negative people, for they will be like anchors on your spirit. Learn to honor your commitments. If you agree to do something, do it on time and with enthusiasm. Be respectful, courteous, sensitive, and tactful in your interactions with others. Never be deliberately careless with another person's feelings. Act always in a way that brings honor to you and to our profession. Finally, establish and nourish your personal life. Work diligently to strike the proper balance between home and hospital. In addition to being good to your patients, be good to your loved ones and yourself. Learn to say no kindly but firmly when your plate is too full. Recognize that and accept that you cannot have it all. Time will be your scarcest resource. In the final analysis, what will sustain you most effectively throughout your adult life are your relationship with family and friends, not the number of papers you publish, organizations you chair, awards you receive, intricate procedures you develop or perform, number of patients you treat, or the material positions you accumulate. You will be able to weather the sea of constant change that confronts us more serenely and effectively if you anchor your life in the bedrock of relationship with close friends and loved ones. So right now, get up, rise, turn backward, and applaud to those who accompanied you throughout this journey. Thank you. I hope that you have great success in all your future endeavors, that you bring honor to our wonderful profession, and you delight in providing skilled, compassionate care to those people who entrust their well-being to us. Embrace your new role of a physician with great happiness and justifiable pride, but also with dignity, honesty, modesty, and grace. Make certain your life is well spent and leave our profession better for your presence. Thank you.
I call upon Professor Arnon Efek, Director of the New York State American Program, to deliver his message.
Erev Tov. Honorable Professor McCory, Dean of the Sackler Faculty of Medicine, Dr. Stefan Lazar, Executive Dean of the New York State American Program, Dr. Aaron Allen, Dr. Cheryl Shoam, and Mrs. Leah Shulman, and most important, graduates and their families. Good evening. Let me share with you an old Jewish proverb that says, "Of all of my teachers from whom I acquired knowledge, I acquired more from my students than from anyone else." This proverb is especially true when we speak about you, the students of the New York American Program. For me, an Israeli who, like his fellow countrymen, admires the United States as the leader of the free world, I have learned to appreciate our medical students, their independence, their self-study and self-reliance, their intellectual drive, and their dedication to medicine. I, who learned in the old classical way of frontal lectures, found myself as director changing the program, together with Dr. Shoam and Dr. Allen, so it will be adapted to your needs and be on the front line and state-of-art of the best medical education programs in the world. Just to tell you about the fourth year, we introduced radiology rotation. The sub-I was changed so it will parallel your future residency in order to help you to acclimate as quickly as possible. And career consulting, led by Dr. Allen, includes careful monitoring, and his professional advice helped many of you to achieve your dreams. Any medical school in the States would have been proud of your match achievements. I thank you, the graduate, for helping me to direct this great New York American Program. May God bring peace and prosperity to America and Israel.
Thank you, Professor Efek. I now call on Dr. Stephen H. Lazar, Executive Dean of the New York State American Program, to greet all of you.
So I'm almost as excited to be here today as you are. Almost. I thought it might be appropriate to give you a brief history of the program, since I've been involved with it since its inception 35 or 37 years ago. In 1976, I read a front-page article in the New York Times discussing the establishment of the Sackler School of Medicine, New York State, and then later changed to the New York State American Program at Tel Aviv University. I had already given a speech in the early 1970s at the then Tel Aviv University School of Medicine at Asaf HaRofeh Hospital, and I was familiar with the institution. I was an assistant dean at a New York City College of Medicine and I wrote a letter cold to the dean at TAU Medical School asking if I could assist as a volunteer since I was involved with medical schools and I was in love with Israel. I was contacted a month later by the dean of the NYU School of Medicine, a member of the board of the proposed Sackler School, and within a short time I joined the initial advisory group of New York Medical School deans. We were from NYU School of Medicine, Mount Sinai, Cornell, Columbia, downstate, and we worked with TAU professors. All worked very hard to establish this school's affiliation between the United States and Israel and to play a part in designing what would become a world-respected medical school program. It was a wonderful challenge for me, and it was a wonderful challenge for everybody who volunteered. Everyone volunteered their time and they were eager to participate. The goal was to make it possible for students to have a meaningful education while benefiting from the academic atmosphere and the culture of Israel. I've seen over the last several years the quality of applicants grow to where you are more than competitive as compared to other medical graduates throughout the world, and our graduates are more successful than many, under hurdles not experienced by many of your contemporaries. Thousands of miles from home, a different culture, patients who speak different languages, people who have different customs. You, as a group, have raised the bar for those who will follow you. Dedicated volunteers like Dr. Raymond Sackler himself, there is a Dr. Sackler, continue to be active through the present. Dr. Sackler is 93 years old, and he calls me on a weekly basis to see how the program is going. He's still involved. Dr. Sackler emphasized then and now that this school would reflect the excellence of the faculty, curriculum, and the goal of making one of the premier medical school programs in the world. Dr. Sackler was so determined that it would succeed that he gave not only his time and his money, but he wanted his name to be on the program. Well, it worked, and it worked very well, and you're the proof. Your selection for residency programs is based in part on the success of those who preceded you, who proved that the Sackler School of Medicine could prepare students for the medical profession as well as the finest medical schools in the world. Don't take my word for it. Look on the web and look up the biographies of those who preceded you on this campus. And look in the printed program that you have in front of you to see that this class has made remarkable accomplishments. The oath that you will take confirms your obligation to return what you learned in Tel Aviv. It is now going to be your responsibility to continue the successful Sackler legacy throughout the United States and Canada in the next few years as you continue to learn in your residencies and then to practice medicine any place in the world. And perhaps some of you will even make Aliyah to Israel. How lucky I have been to have been offered the position of your executive dean based in New York City, to work with the highly dedicated staff and professors in Israel, to have been a part of the school since its inception, and now to be in a leadership position. Well, it's been more rewarding to me than you can personally imagine. The most exciting part of my position is that I sign each letter of acceptance. Joining with the faculty and staff at Tel Aviv University in changing the direction of individuals' lives. That's an honor, and it's a thrill, and it's a privilege to me. And I must tell you, I tell my secretary how important it is when she brings the letters in for me to sign. And I say to her, don't bend the letter, don't put it in a business envelope, send it in a large envelope. I said, this is a keeper for some people, and I get excited with everyone that I signed. You join 1,622 men and women in an exclusive alumni club, a club that consists of leaders of the most prestigious hospitals in the United States and Canada, and throughout the world. Become an active member of your alumni association. Continue the tradition of excellence. You should be extremely proud to call yourself a graduate of the Sackler School of Medicine, New York State American program of Tel Aviv University. Best of good luck. You earned it. You deserve it. Mazel tov.
Thank you very much, Dr. Lazar. Dr. Cheryl Shalom. Okay. Dr. Cheryl Shalom, Associate Program Director for Preclinical Studies and Director of Curriculum Development, will now speak to the graduates in the whole audience.
It was a long way. Good evening to our honored faculty, guests and family, and to my new colleagues, our graduating class. As I prepared to say these words tonight, I realized that I felt quite overwhelmed by what futurists predict your careers as physicians will be like. Allow me to explain. In 1982, Buckminster Fuller, futurist, architect, some would say quack, commented that up until the 1900s, the accumulation of knowledge doubled about every century. When I was born, and I won't say when that was, knowledge was doubling about every 25 years. And today, clinical knowledge is said to double every 18 months. Even more dumbfounding to me is IBM's prediction that in the next couple of years, information will double every 11 hours. In short, the more we know, the faster we know more. Feeling overwhelmed yet? We physician educators need to rethink our teaching based on these predictions. You are digital natives, born and bred in the age of internet, Google, Facebook, and up to date. We educators are digital settlers, olim hadashim in your new vocabulary that you've learned here. We weren't born digital, but we now live digital. We need to catch up to you, and we both need to use the myriad of online tools, blogs, wikis, podcasts, and virtual learning environments. And you? How will you conquer this knowledge mountain, building at impossible speeds before your very eyes? Lifelong learning will be essential. It doesn't stop today. But to survive and not be completely overwhelmed, here are some tips given in 1935 by a gentleman named Will Rogers. He said, if you want to be successful, it's this simple. You listening? 1, know what you're doing. 2, love what you're doing. And 3, believe in what you're doing. At least that much hasn't changed. Congratulations to you all. Mazal tov.
Thank you, Dr. Sean. Now, Dr. Aaron Allen, Associate Program Director, Clinical Years Coordinator. Please come to us and address the graduates.
Dean McCory, Professor Afek, Dean Lazar, Ms. Shulman, honored colleagues, parents, friends, and of course the class of 2013. It is really an honor for me to stand here tonight and celebrate with you the graduation of the class of 2013. In just a few short weeks, you all will begin your internship standing proudly alongside graduates of some of the finest medical schools in the United States at really some of the finest programs that the United States has to offer for postgraduate medical education. And you will all proudly wear the badge that says, I am a Sackler graduate. But what is unique about that badge? And what truly makes a Sackler graduate? I know some of you are thinking it's frequent flyer miles. Others are thinking about a nice Tel Aviv suntan. But of course, those are only temporary accomplishments. Even the ability to smell when it's falafel day at the cafeteria is a skill which will only get you so far. So what is it that you've received over the last 4 years here in Tel Aviv? You are fortunate enough tonight to receive a gift that none of your residency peers will have. You will tonight enter the Sackler Brotherhood, and with that comes a part of the state of Israel, the Lev Yisraeli, or the Israeli heart. Now, I know for those of you going into cardiology, you're probably thinking that the Israeli heart has eaten one too many shawarmas while you've been here. But it's really much more than that. The Israeli heart is strong. It deals with adversity, and it never gives up. Many of you of the class of 2013 have dealt with adversity during the past 4 years and have shown that nothing can stand in the way of your goals. Sometimes in your residency or in your career in medicine, you will feel that you can just not overcome the hurdles that are in front of you. It is at those times when your badge, your Sackler badge, your Israeli heart will come through and remind you, I am a Sackler graduate, I am strong, and I never give up. Your Israeli heart has taught you to value family. Throughout Israel and in the hospitals, the street corners, the restaurants, you have learned what it means for a total stranger to come up and call you Achi and make you feel welcome. You have learned to take care of patients from different cultures, different religions, and you have learned to treat each one with respect. You have come to see your classmates as part of your family and have come to depend and respect them and know that they will be there for you no matter what happens. That family is the Sackler family. You have also built your own families. Many of you have met your spouse, gotten married, and had a remarkable number of children during medical school. Which is good, since Dr. Lazar informed me that the admissions committee will be accepting applications for 2033 very shortly. You have also learned to appreciate your parents, even though you have been very far away. Those phone calls, the support, as Dean McCory said, and the advice that you have received, and most importantly, the love that you have gotten from your parents over the past 4 years is most important, and you will never forget it. Mark, your father would be really proud of you tonight, and I'm sure that he's watching on the big screen upstairs. But when you are faced in your career with these conflicts, or with a patient that you can't seem to connect to, remember, you are part of the Sackler family, with an Israeli heart that even if it's difficult, a Sackler graduate always puts his patients and his family first. Finally, your Israeli heart has taught you to value kindness and compassion. In the wards, in the clinic, you have learned that to be a physician is ultimately to give to your patients, no matter what comes in, no matter what color or nationality or religion. Everyone here that you have seen in Israel is treated with dignity and respect. Sometime in your internship and residency, you will find yourself exhausted at the end of a long day, and you will be edgy, anxious to get home. And it is just at that moment when you'll be tempted to give your patient perhaps something less than the full measure of your ability as a physician. But at that moment, you will realize that you are a Sackler graduate and that you have an Israeli heart that always gives compassion and that always reaches out to each and every patient and never leaves anyone behind. Over 1,000 years ago, the Jewish poet Rabbi Yehuda Halevi wrote about his desire to live in Israel. He said, Libi b'mizrach v'ani basof ma'arav. Although I am living in the West, my heart is in the East. So tonight, as you walk off into the Israeli sunset, into your dreams of becoming physicians, remember, wherever you travel, wherever you go, and wherever your doctor's bag takes you, you carry with you the badge of a Sackler graduate, the Israeli heart. Good luck, and we'll miss you.
Thank you, Dr. Allen. And now, Mrs. Leah Schulman, Administrative Director and Registrar of the New York State American Program.
Dear graduates, honorable guests, and faculty members, 4 years ago, we met you upon your arrival to Israel, to the Sackler School of Medicine, on a sunny Israeli day at the beginning of your studies, the beginning of your intensive and long way towards your dream to become a doctor of medicine. It was not easy to study medicine so far from your home and from your supporting environment. You had to overcome many obstacles, the unfamiliar culture, the complicated medical materials, and the everyday hectic life in Tel Aviv. We, the administrative staff in the Tel Aviv office, knew and understood your situation and tried to assist you both with the academic and the personal issues. You felt that you could come to the office with any problem and find an open ear and goodwill to help and solve any problem you might have. And I look at you tonight and I see that you are mature, educated, and ready to move forward. On behalf of the administrative staff, Barbara, Galit, Cornelia, and Yael, I would like to congratulate you tonight. You have worked hard, and you should be proud of yourselves and everything that you have accomplished thus far. You are now on a new road to success. We wish you good luck and happiness in your way and career. We all trust that you will be excellent physicians, full of empathy and compassion, and will keep a warm corner in your heart for the years that you spend at the Sackler School of Medicine in our country, Israel. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Schulman. The physician bears an awesome responsibility and confronts issues of life and death. I will now read the revised version of the Hippocratic Oath known as the Declaration of Geneva. At the time of being admitted as a member of the medical profession, I solemnly pledge to consecrate my life to the service of humanity. I will give to my teachers the respect and gratitude that is their due. I will practice my profession with conscience and with dignity. The health of my patient will be my first consideration. I will respect the secrets that are confided in me, even after the patient has died. I will maintain, by all means in my power, the honor and the noble traditions of the medical profession. My colleagues will be my sisters and my brothers. I will not permit considerations of age, disease or disability, creed, ethnic origin, gender, nationality, political affiliation, race, sexual orientation, social standing, or any other factor to intervene between my duty and my patient. I will maintain the utmost respect for human life. I will not use my medical knowledge to violate human rights and civil liberties, even under threat. I make these promises solemnly, freely, and upon my honor. For more than 2,000 years now, it has been the custom that a student of medicine, upon conferment of the degree of medicine, would take a solemn oath to use his or her newly acquired knowledge, tempered with wisdom and compassion, for the benefit of fellow men and women. We have now reached that special moment when the graduates of the New York State American program, and this 33rd very special class, will take the solemn physician's pledge. This pledge was formulated by Professor Al Halpern on the occasion of the first graduation ceremony of the medical students of the Hebrew University in Jerusalem in 1952. Professor Arnon Afek will administer the pledge. Will the candidates please rise and raise their hands when they take the pledge? At the end of the pledge, the graduates will say, "Amen, so we will do."
The Physician Pledge. New men and women of medicine, you are charged day and night to be guardians at the side of the sick at all times of their needs, even from their mother's womb, and let their welfare always be your chief concern. You shall help the sick because they are sick, whether a stranger or alien or citizen, whether contemptible or honorable. And you shall seek to understand the soul of the sick, to restore their spirit through understanding and compassion. Do not rush to bring forth judgment, and weight your advice wisely based on experience. Be true to them who put their trust in you. Reveal not their secret, and go not about as a talebearer. And make your heart wise to the well-being of the many, to bring healing for the alignment of the people. Give honor and esteem to your teachers who have led you in the paths of medicine. Increase wisdom and weaken not, for wisdom is your life. Honor your colleague, as in honoring them, you will yourself be honored. The words of this agreement are most high unto you. They are in your mouth and your hearts, and you may do them, and you will all answer, Amen, so we will do. May your efforts to enhance the heritage of medicine grow and multiply.
Thank you. Please be seated. Professor Yosef McCory, Dean of the Sackler Faculty of Medicine, will now hand the medical diplomas to the graduates. Leah Schulman will assist. Professor Arnona Feck, Director of the New York State American Program, and Dr. Stephen H. Lazar will please step forward for the conferring of the doctoral hoods of medicine. Graduates who have special hooders, those hooders, please, you will go to the left side of the stage and ascend the stage when the name of your graduate is called. Students in row 1, please rise and go to the right side of the auditorium and come to the stage as I call your name. Dr. Michael Abelis, Dr. Clara Steinberg, Michael's grandmother, will do the hooding. Dr. David Adlerstein. Dr. Lauren Rose Averbuck. Dr. Philip Avner Blumenfeld. Dr. Judah Jonah, Philip's mentor, will do the hooding. Dr. Carla Marina Canepa. Dr. Asaf Ray, Carla's mentor, will do the hooding. Dr. Maya Kapua. Dr. Tali Kapua, Maya's sister and Sackler graduate, class of 2009, will do the hooding. Dr. Mayor Chill. Dr. Avishai Newman, Mayor's brother-in-law and mentor, and Sackler graduate 2006, will do the hooding. Dr. Mark Samuel Cohen. Dr. Natan Morash Kramer. Dr. Yeshayahu Clutter, Natan's mentor, will do the hooding. Dr. Rachel Felber. Dr. Merrill Gersten, Rachel's mother, will do the hooding. Dr. Matthew Fisher. Dr. Saul Nathan Friedman. Dr. Lawrence Friedman, Saul's father, will do the hooding. Dr. Craig Justin Fryman. Dr. Sharon Ganot. Sharon was the recipient of the Dean's Award for Excellence for all years of study. Dr. Paul Pfeffer, Sharon's mentor, will do the hooding. Dr. Bradley Samuel Goldberg. Dr. Yosef Shimshon Gurevich. Dr. Ethan Hoppy. Row 2, will you please rise and go to the right side of the auditorium and come to the stage as I call your name. Dr. Ilya Igolnikov. Never. Dr. Noah Jacob Jablo. Dr. Barbara Jablo, Noah's mother, will do the hooding. Dr. Jeremy Daniel Jacobson. Dr. Howard Jacobson, Jeremy's father, will do the hooding. Dr. Morgan Kellogg, Morgan Samuel Kellogg, Morgan's mentor, Dr. Yeshayahu Kletter, will do the hooding. Dr. Shachar Kenan. Professor Samuel Kenan, Shachar's father, will do the hooding. Dr. Adva Kornblit. Dr. Sean Aaron Kotkin. Sean was the recipient of the Dean's Award for Excellence in the first year of studies, preclinical studies, and for the third year of studies. Dr. Neelan Joseph Mariana Yagam. Dr. S.J. Mariana Yagam, Neelan's father, will do the hooding. Dr. Daniel Muchnik. Dr. Eitam Weiss, Daniel's mentor, will do the hooding. Dr. Stephanie Erin Muller. Dr. Wayne D. Muller, as Stephanie's father, will do the hooding. Dr. Giovanni Nana. Dr. Michele Nana, Giovanni's father, and Dr. Michael Nana, Giovanni's brother, will do the hooding. Dr. Eitan Nov. Dr. Asher Nov, Eitan's father, will do the hooding. Dr. Emily Ann Novick. Dr. Larry Novick, Emily's father, will do the hooding. Dr. Alexander Sasha Reckman. Dr. Karen Cohen, Sasha's mentor, will do the hooding. Dr. Elizabeth Richards. Dr. Daniel Joseph Rogel. Dr. Karen Cohen, Daniel's mentor, will do the hooding. Dr. Solomon Rojani. Students in row 3, please rise, go to the right side of the auditorium. It's now your turn. Dr. Ari Joseph Rosenberg. Dr. Karen Cohen, Ari's mentor, will do the hooding. Dr. Daniel Sass. Dr. Norman Sass, Daniel's father, will do the hooding. Dr. Gila Sasson. Dr. Tzion Sasson, Gila's father, and Dr. Saya Victor Feynman, Gila's grandfather, will do the hooding. Dr. Ori Schnitzer. Dr. Ron Schnitzer, Ori's brother and Sackler graduate, 2002, will do the hooding. Dr. Joshua Michael Schwartzbaum. Dr. Jonah Samuel Shiroki. Dr. Jane Skelton, Jonah's aunts, will do the hooding. Dr. Jonathan Aaron Smith. Dr. Shoshana Streiter. Dr. Eli Samuel Sutton. Dr. Yeshiel Clutter, Eli's mentor, will do the hooding. Dr. Donna Schuss. Dr. Eli Sutton, Donna's husband and Sackler graduate, 2013, will do the hooding. Dr. Adit Lior Tal. Adit, you have to listen to this, was the recipient of the Dean's Award for Excellence in the second year of studies, third year of studies, and for all years of study. Dr. Tali Tuvia. Dr. Eva Eben, Tali's grandmother, will do the hooding. Dr. Elke Nicole Webb. Dr. Gerald Niznik, Elke's cousin and mentor, will do the hooding. Dr. Andrew Weinberger. Far, far from least, Dr. Jared Yarnell. Dr. Philip Yarnell, Jared's father, will do the hooding. You did it. You did it. I would like to invite Dr. Cheryl Shoreham of the New York State American Program to present the Peer Teaching Award. Dr. Shoreham?
Okay. See one, do one, teach one. This expression, well known to physicians and medical students alike, is sometimes stated cynically. However, it embodies the spirit of learning when others teach you, but also learning when you teach others. For many years at Sackler, we have had an informal peer teaching program in which senior students volunteer to tutor junior students. This year, the Faculty of Medicine funded the peer teaching program, giving us the opportunity to award our peer tutors a small token of the faculty's appreciation. We want to thank these students for tutoring their juniors in the USMLE Step 1 Clinical Skills course. We hope to establish a strong tradition of peer teaching in our program. I would like to invite the following students to come up to the podium. Joshua Schwartzbaum, Ari Rosenberg, Shoshana Strider, Craig Fryman, and Elke Webb. Okay, wait a second, let me get them straight now, wait a second. Wait a second, sorry. Mixing them up, Ari and Joe. Wait a second.
Try again.
No. And that was Elke. We didn't get Elke. 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 Back it up. And if there are any of our first, second, third year presently students out there, wave. I'm looking for you to volunteer for next year.
Thank you, Dr. Shaw. Congratulations to all the recipients. Dr. Stephen H. Lazar, Executive Dean of the New York State American Program, will now present the Michael Trichter Grauer Memorial Award. The recipients of this award were voted for by the graduates themselves.
Dr. Michael Trichter Grauer was a 1996 Sackler graduate, and this award is given by his family in honor of his memory. It is given to a graduate in recognition of exceptional compassion, excellence in patient care, and public service while in the New York State American Program. This year, there are 3 very worthy candidates for recipients of the Michael Trichter Grauer MD Memorial Award. When I call your name, will you please come up? Dr. Elke Nicole Webb, Dr. Noah Jablow, and Dr. Shoshana Strider. Noah, congratulations. You can stay up here. Shoshana, congratulations. Lucky, congratulations. Congratulations, Griffin. That's special.
The representative of the 2013 graduating class, Dr. Bradley Goldberg, will now address all of you. Dr. Goldberg, with no further ado.
My fellow doctors. Wow, I've been waiting a long time to say that. I don't know what to do with all these appendages I have on. Okay. First off, I wanted to follow up with what Dr. Lazar was saying about the name of our program. If you look up, it's up there at the top, and it's Sackler School of Medicine, New York State/American program, but really, there should just be an asterisk at the end there, because we have a lot of Canadians in the program, and sometimes I feel like we forget about that. So let's have a round of applause for all the Canadians here tonight. And a special shout out to one of our classmates who was very worried he wasn't going to see graduation tonight. He's taking a research here in New York, but he got detained in the airport by U.S. Customs and was sent back to Canada. Daniel Shogalev, we're glad you're watching. And I also want to say hi to my mom. Hi, Mom. I hope the internet's working. She has an irrational fear of flying, so I hope the computer works. Okay. First off, I would like to start tonight with some thank yous. Most importantly, thank you to all the families, friends, and guests who traveled from all over Israel and the world to be here tonight. I am sure you are now very relieved to know that we were actually attending a medical school these 4 years, contrary to our tans and our Facebook photos. Seriously, though, none of this would be possible without you, and I think you deserve a round of applause. For who comes next, a thank you does not suffice. To the Israeli office staff, to the New York office staff, administrators, and advisors, we cannot thank you enough. I cannot imagine a more supportive group of people here for us on a day-to-day basis. For some of my classmates, myself included, I had never been to Israel before coming to medical school. I knew nothing about how to survive here. I can't even begin to estimate how many questions we all asked Galit and Cornelia in the first couple of days, weeks, months, years here in Israel. My only guess, thousands. So thank you. By the way, I'm still having problems with my Arnona. Is the office open? Or, okay. All right, en baya, let's continue. We must be also thankful tonight to Israel and to its people for giving us the opportunity to come here and learn medicine of the highest order. This includes all the doctors, professors, scientists, and nurses who took the time to teach us in the classroom and at the bedside. Nowhere else are students taught almost exclusively by senior physicians, department chairs, and leading researchers. I also want to thank the Israeli families and patients for accepting us and letting us into their lives at what must be a very difficult time. While contemplating what I would say tonight, I decided it best if I first rehashed my Sackler experience from start to finish. Okay, Brad, great idea. But really, when did it all start? Initially, I thought back to our first orientation meeting 4 years ago and the words of our first program director, Professor Strauss. I would usually defer to my now fellow physician and future roommate, Matthew Fisher, in reciting Professor Strauss's inspiring words in proper South African accent, but in the interest of time, I'll give it my best shot. You are all on a journey of learning and excellence. Okay, having said that, I would now like to apologize to my current roommate, Jeremy's parents, and any other South Africans in the audience that were offended by that poor accent. Our Sackler journey has been well documented, even before orientation started. Who is this mysterious class scribe, you ask? Well, his name is Gmail. I would like to briefly share with you some excerpts from our first class email chain. The subject was simply, howdy y'all. Please allow me to read a few selections from this chain. Hi, my name is Saul Rajani. I'm 23 and I lived in Los Angeles my entire life. I recently graduated from UCLA with a BS in physiology. I've recently gotten into judo, sambo, jiu-jitsu, and hope to continue learning MMA in Tel Aviv. How's that going, Saul? But I also want to point out that Saul accurately predicted the Lakers winning the 2009 NBA championship 1 month before it happened in his email. Let's read one more. Though not originally from Long Island, I lived in Panama for the first 5 years in Florida until I was 12. I graduated from NYU in 2003 and spent a year as a paralegal and then 6 months living on a kibbutz in Israel. These experiences allowed me to rule out lawyer and banana picker from my future. This was none other than our own and witty John Smith. I ask all of you in the coming days or weeks to log on and search your emails from around this time or any important times in your lives. It's really incredible what you'll find. Regressing further into our youths, becoming a physician has really been a lifelong journey. Recall, in grade school where you excelled and first aspired towards higher education. Recall, in college and graduate school where we first committed ourselves towards medical school through the gauntlet of what's commonly called pre-med. I must admit, I still have nightmares about organic chemistry and stoichiometry. Really, I don't remember it at all. Now I ask, where were you in your lives 5 years, 10 years ago? Could you have believed this was your future? Tel Aviv, an actual medical doctor? I surely couldn't have. We have all come a really long way, but now is the time to live in the moment. Now is the time to smile. Now is the time to be proud of yourselves. Getting here was not easy. It is natural to get caught up in the quickly approaching stresses and uncertainty of residency, and by doing so, marginalizing the monumental accomplishment we celebrate tonight. And now, to my class of 2013. We finally did it. Did any of this seem possible 4 years ago? There were so many hurdles along the way. One I'm sure we all remember, our neuroanatomy shelf, first year. Show of hands if you ran out of the room crying. Okay. Unfortunately, this will not be your last encounter with adversity. But when the dark clouds of residency storm around you, and your heart is weak, your confidence shaken, and your courage rattled, remember, we've been down this road before. We traveled it together. Even though space and time will divide us, our bonds are inseverable. Our journey together is not over. We continue united by our indelible experiences. I look forward to meeting you all again in the hospital hallways with your own pack of wide-eyed medical students in tow, with a confident spring in your step and a stethoscope casually strawn over your shoulder. Now let's party. I just wanted to add a special thank you to my speech coach, Dr. Carla Canepa, and my hairstylist, Dr. Daniel Rogel, and a happy birthday to Dr. Donna Sue Sutton. Thank you.
Where do we go from there? Okay. Dr. Morgan Kellogg will now present on behalf of the graduates the Best Teacher of the Year Award for Preclinical Studies to Dr. Paul Pfeffer.
The first year of medical school is devoted to establishing the foundations upon which to build the rest of one's medical education. After nearly a year of studying anatomy, embryology, biochemistry, and other areas of basic sciences, there is an air of excitement amongst the class when studies reconvene for the beginning of the second year, a year largely devoted to understanding the pathology of various systems of the body into establishing the basics of physical diagnosis. The second year of medical school is also the time at which students begin to wield an instrument common across all areas of medicine, the stethoscope. Among the first organ systems we encountered during our second year was the heart and the cardiovascular system. All of the class will remember sitting in lecture, and after being told that the heart is just a stupid pump, diving headfirst into the particulars of blood flow into and out of the heart, the movements of ions into and out of the myocardium, the cells of the heart, and the specifics of opening and closing of the heart valves. While we may soon forget some of the specifics of cardiology, we will all remember the patience with which we were taught to evaluate the heart. We will remember to listen first for the lub and then for the dub. We will remember our teacher tapping out the sounds of the S3 heart sound on the whiteboard, while we all tried to remember what could cause such a pattern and how it differed from a split S2. For the next 3 years of medical school, and I'm sure many years into our careers, these lessons will come back quickly when we listen to our patients' chests and evaluate their pulses, whether that of a newborn racing along at 140 beats per minute, or that of an elderly man with the systolic ejection murmur. On behalf of the graduating class of 2013 of the Sackler Faculty of Medicine, I'm proud to present the Best Teacher Award in the preclinical years to Dr. Paul Pfeffer in recognition of his devotion to his students and his excellence in teaching. Once more.
Thank you. I did jot a few words down, but I think I'll leave that there. I think I'm actually more excited than I was during my own graduation quite a few years back. And maybe just very few words. First of all, thank you very, very much. It's been truly a pleasure to teach you and a great honor to receive recognition of teaching. I would like to remind you that the title bestowed on you today, that of doctor, comes from the Italian dottore, which means teacher. And we get this title not for our abilities not for our abilities to treat patients, but rather for our obligation to teach. And it is our obligation to pass on to our younger colleagues our knowledge, our experience, our judgment, and our skills. And if I have in any way managed to do something in that, and you do seem to remember some of what I taught you, then I am very pleased and very glad, and I wish you the best of luck for your future careers. May you wake up every morning for the rest of your professional life and say thank you to yourselves for choosing this wonderful profession.
Thank you, Dr. Kellogg and Dr. Pfeffer. Dr. Jared Yarnell, on behalf of the graduates, will present the Best Teacher of the Year Award for Clinical Studies to Professor Ariel Halevi.
Hello. My name's Jared Yarnell, and I'm a recovering medical student. It's probably funnier if you know me. Firstly, I'd just like to thank all the family and friends that came all the way out here to Israel, reiterating what Brad said, as well as the faculty members of both the New York and Tel Aviv office, as well as all the doctors and professors that allowed us to get to this place right now. Now, with all the formalities out of the way, I'd like to talk a little bit about what this speech is about, and that's about Professor Ariel Halevi. Professor Halevi truly embodies the type of instructor that made our education here at Sackler both excellent and unique. Besides being a luminary in his field, Professor Halevi is truly a genius. And I mean that. I'd like to say it takes one to know one, but I think there's a difference between self-proclaimed and acknowledged, so... Professor Halevi has been practicing medicine since seemingly the dawn of time. But in his case, the 10,000-hour rule for mastery has long been surpassed. He is a true master of the surgery. From his lectures to us on total peripheral nutrition to his informal holdings of court in the doctor's break room, Professor Halevi has showered both powerful and inspiring words on all of his students. His humility towards the hospital staff, from the lowest janitor to his most esteemed colleague, are truly inspiring. I believe anyone who has had Professor Halevi as an instructor really does take his example and really aspires to both share his enthusiasm and passion for his field. So it's my personal belief that Professor Halevi is a national treasure of Israel, and I truly mean that. And it is my honor to introduce him as Clinical Professor of the Year.
Well, it's a long evening, so I'll be very short, and I'll cut the edges as a surgeon. So, it is my pleasure and honor to be here on this podium tonight at your request and to congratulate you and your families on this monumental event. To graduate from a medical school and get an MD degree is once-in-a-lifetime event, probably the longest and most demanding course a student will confront. A great deal of will, endurance, talent, diligence, altruism, and love to the other has characterized your past years. Living and studying in a foreign country far away from your families, and today you and your families are gathering full of pride to celebrate your victory. I believe I contributed something to this event, having the opportunity to teach you. I've probably been teaching for more years than you have been alive. I must confess, teaching is a privilege, as it places me as a teacher in a position of constant need to learn more and more. You students can enjoy and get information from me, and you know what? The ones who will benefit most are the patients whom you are going to take care of. A circuit that makes you better doctors and your patient more fortunate. Apart from my blessing to you and your families, I wish to pass on you some words of wisdom that I have acquired over the years. Some of them have been said before. So, be honest with yourself, your colleagues, and specifically with your patients. Always strive for better knowledge. Respect the others, those who are better than you, and especially those who are inferior to you. Be humble. Respect your teacher as they passed on the knowledge to you and helped you form your career. Don't be greedy. Be merciful to your patient, and remember that the family is the backbone of your success, and it is much easier to pursue a career when you have a supportive family behind you. Bless you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Yarnell, and thank you, Professor Halevi. The musical ensemble has come to the stage. We ask you all please to rise for the American and Israeli national anthems. Hatikva, the Israeli national anthem.
שיש גשם, שילכו לשם, וזה הגשם ייפסק, ונוכל בעבודה.
Please be seated. At least for a moment. the graduation of the 33rd ceremony, 33rd graduating class has come to an end. We want to invite you to a special dinner at the Gan Had Galim. The word has it that it started to rain. We will persevere and trust that the rain will stop shortly, because it's a very lovely dinner that we have for all of you. Let's assume that it will. You'll go there, please. The tables to the left of the dividing area for the graduates and their families and their guests, as well as the faculty. And the tables to the right are for the first, second, and third year. We trust that things will work out, and we ask that you just please go there, and it's all ready and waiting for you. One last note, if I may say, class of 2013, your family, your friends, and all of us at Sackler are incredibly proud of your tremendous accomplishments over these past 4 years. And we wish you great happiness and great success in everything that you do. Bravo, bravo.